Hey yo, it's your boy OMA, and I have a question for you today. Would Watchdogs Legion make a good faction in XDefiant? Now, I know the first thought that comes to mind is that XDefiant already has a Watchdogs themed faction and it's Dedsec. But that faction is supposed to be based on Watchdogs 2, and Watchdogs 2 had this like colourful, almost like pop art hacker vibe, like a kind of how you'd imagine they'd like make a stereotypical hacker man in like a popular movie or just general like pop culture. That's what they have in Watch Dogs 2, and Watch Dogs Legion is different. Watch Dogs Legion has a more gritty and dark vibe. They're based in London out the back of a pub, like really hidden away. There's no spray painting pretty and cryptic billboards with pop art and colourful stuff. It's more banners and resistance and like this almost propaganda type stuff. And that's what I'm rolling with today. So I'm going to pitch you guys what my idea is and see what you think. This is Dedsec London. The team is mainly focused around specific iconic masks from the game, since Legion didn't really have characters due to its whole recruit anyone focus. So I thought the best bet would be to go with like popular variants of masks. So I chose Winston and the Dead Coronet, which I feel like are the two most iconic masks from Watch Dogs Legion. Just as a bonus, because Benny kept mentioning to me, why don't you make 3 characters? Here's your third character. It's Granny. Everyone loved Granny. These guys have a completely different vibe. Where Watch Dogs 2 had this colourful pop art hacker vibe, these guys are gritty and dark. Where Watch Dogs 2 is, I live on the beach and I want to be an activist and I want to fight the power, these guys are the completely opposite end of the Watch Dogs hacker spectrum. These guys are like the resistance, the trodden down, like fighting the big brother state. I still tried to make them feel similar because at the end of the day, they are still based in the same universe. They are both still from Watch Dogs, just different times, different cities, different vibes. I didn't want to make them so similar to where they'd feel completely redundant being in the same game. So with that, on to number 1, the passive ability. So Watch Dogs London's passive ability is going to be something I've called grid detection. This essentially is supposed to be where they have got the resistance back at home, have hacked into the CTOS network of the map that you're on, and this gives them a sort of like grid of effect, where a certain range around them, they can detect anything that's connected to the grid. So anything electronic, anything that's sending a signal, they can see it through the walls, they can see the outline and essentially detect where it's coming from. I did have some like further things to this. I wanted to incorporate this into their ult, and I thought maybe their ult could be something of an expansion to this. So the original ult was going to be an expanded grid detection where they could see everything on the map, including what user they're connected to. So if you just put down a trap and you're close enough to it, they will see that like connection line leading from what you've put down back to you. But I kind of scrapped that idea, so let me know if you think that would be better than the ult I've actually used at the end of the video. Next up, the 2 that you're going to be using the most, the active abilities. The first one being the CTOS drone. This is just like in Watch Dogs Legion. You've hacked a CTOS drone, but instead of it being one of those ginormous ones, we're talking a tiny little CTOS drone. You're going to be able to pop this guy down, and he is going to patrol a certain area, and he's going to ping any enemies within that area onto your minimap. It's pretty basic, but I still think it could be a really useful tool. The second one's pretty basic as well. It's a stun gun. They were a really popular thing in all of the Watch Dogs games. They'd 3D print these little stun guns, and it was always a big option in the game is to go non-lethal. So this is exactly that. It's a little stun gun. It doesn't kill you. It pretty much is kind of like a less useful version of the spider bot, where it kind of immobilizes you for a little bit and means that you can't really do a lot. So that's the point in it. But this isn't going to chase you around. They have to find you, shoot you, and then you're immobilized for a little while. Now, last but certainly not least is their ultimate. This is the ultimate I decided was going to replace the expanded grid search, and there's a reason behind it. I decided they were going to have the ID hack. So the basis for this idea is the original Dedsec, they have an ability that hacks all of your devices and like kind of steals them from you, and that feels very appropriate for Watch Dogs 2, because that's the kind of thing they'd do. They'd like hack stuff as like little pranks and to be annoying. Watch Dogs Legion, these guys weren't messing around. So this is an ID hack that erases the player name for everyone. Not just for you, not just for the enemies, but for everyone. Everyone in the game gets their name erased, so you cannot tell who your teammates are anymore. It will make you rely on communication. It will make you rely on planning and team movement. So it can be a huge benefit to a team if they're playing together in ranked and stuff, and it can be a huge tactical play because you will disorientate the enemy team. and it could potentially lead to zones that are feeling quite well protected. If you activate that and the enemy team can't tell who's who, that could disrupt that a little bit and allow you to sneak in there. In public matches, obviously it's going to be a little bit harder to use because generally you're not speaking to those teammates. So then it becomes a very selfish ultimate because you are going to disorientate your teammates as well as the enemies. But it can still allow you to sneak in behind, activate it when you know who's who, and then go in for a few hits. So that's my idea for Watchdogs Legion as a faction in XDefiant. Let me know what you think. Do you think it would work? Do you think they're kind of pointless? Do you think it just needs some changes? Also, let me know, did I make the right choice in changing that ult at the end? Either way, I'd appreciate hearing from you. And last thing, if you've enjoyed the video and you want to see more of these, I would love if you guys would drop a like and even comment your favorite Ubisoft franchise that you fancy being in the next video. See you guys later.